Hello, my name is Jack Kenny, and today I'll be teaching you guys on how to correctly have your hands at impact on a golf swing. So in golf, all swings are a little different. People think, oh, it's one form and that's it. But each player has different tendencies in their swing that make them different. I mean, you look at Freddie Couples. He on his takeaway kind of had the baseball. You think about Jon Rahm, number one player in the world today. He has a very fast takeaway. It swings very fast. Bryson DeChambeau, big burly guy, swings very hard at the ball. Colin Morikawa, top 5 player in the world today. He actually has a very slow takeaway. It's almost like he's going in slow-mo. And beyond that, every other player is a little different. But the one thing that makes all players the same, and all great golfers the same, is how their hands are at impact. That's the biggest thing. It's the biggest key in golf. Is if you can get good impact on the ball, you'll be all right. Now, the biggest key to remember is when you set up to a golf ball. Okay, set up. Your feet shoulder width apart, front foot a little forward, ball in the middle of your stance, and the shaft right behind the ball, straight. Okay. Now, if you pin the shaft right against your body, and you lean a little bit to imitate how your body is and how you finish, to imitate your finish, that is what impact should look like. So you see how your shaft is leaned forward a little bit, your club head is square to the ball, and now at this point we can bring in the hands, how our hands, so to speak. So look at it. So if I grip the club shaft, the shaft here, you see my front hand is basically my front face of my hand is almost square to everything in front of me. My wrist is almost bowed a little bit, so it's not bowed this way, but it's bowed this way a little bit. And my back wrist is bowed this way. See that? And the biggest thing, especially hitting your irons, your driver too, but really your irons, you want really good forward shaft lean. Your drivers might be a little more straighter, but not much. Your wedges, or your pitching wedges, depending on what kind of shot you're hitting, you might be straight. You might be a little more. You might have a little more lean, but primarily you want your shaft to lean. But your wedges more. I mean, your irons more than the other shafts. So if I go back to my starting point, I'm here gripping the shaft. I lean. My front wrist is bowed a little bit here, facing out. My back wrist, which is my underhand, is bowed a little this way. My shaft lean is good. My shaft lean's a little forward, and my ball is square. Now, the biggest thing to remember here is when people say, okay, shaft lean. All right, great. I get shaft lean. That's great. This is an issue I had with when I started playing golf. Too much shaft lean. Too much shaft lean like this, or like out here, but mostly out here, and that causes to turn that turns the club face. And when you turn the club face, that's when you get a lot of shanks. Not necessarily. I mean, you get, depending on the not necessarily slices, but you get a lot of shanks and a lot of just a lot of shanks and a lot of shots that are just gonna go. In my case, left. If you're righty, they're mostly gonna go right. So not straight, which is bad. So it's always good to have with your forward shaft lean in your hands, they need to be just beyond the ball. So if I'm here, this is too much. This is too much. Just beyond the ball. Because if I'm here, you know, it's a turn my club head. This is turning my club head, and that's in turning the club head always, there's one other rule in golfing: the club head has to be square, especially throwing the ball straight. It has to be square. So once we have that, once we know that shaft lean forward, front wrist bowed this way, back wrist bowed, front wrist bowed this way, pointing out, back wrist, bottom hand bowed this way, kind of pointing back, and then not a lot of shaft lean. Now my hands aren't going too far forward, too far down. They're just nice and easy, nice and straight, nice little shaft lean. Yeah, nice and easy, nice little shaft lean, okay? Now if I do in a full takeaway, I'm coming back, taking away. I'm driving here and I'm leading with my hands. Leading with my hands. Here, leading with my hands. Okay? One more time. Leading with my hands. See that? Not too big, not too major of a shaft lean. Not my hands are getting away from my body. They're staying nice and close to my body. Okay? And one drill so now that we have that established, at point of impact, you want your hands a little forward, front wrist bowed, the face of the hand pointing out, bottom hand, my left hand, most of your hands righties, most of you guys righties, bowed out this way, and bowed out this way, away from your, pointing back, away from where you're going. So now that we established that, one good drill that will help you with this is take your top hand and grip it regularly, and take your bottom hand and just go over your top hand. You get scared of the ball, you take away, you come down. It will help you. It's a self-corrector. It will naturally it will naturally bring your hands first. Okay? That's the biggest key, is you want your hands to come first on your downswing. You want when your shaft's coming through, you want your hands to come first. You want your hands to come first, and you want your hands to come through. You don't want your hands to come this way, you want your hands to come straight through. So if I'm here, take my top hand, grip it, bottom hand over my top hand, take way back, out, here. Just good, solid shaft lean. Then once I get to impact, I can kind of put my bottom hand under and kind of mimic how I'm supposed to be at impact. I hope that video is helpful for you guys. It is very important to understand this for golf, because if you don't get this, then your chances of playing well in golf are pretty rare. So thank you for listening, and hope you learned a lot.